This Fed Gov Today program is sponsored by EY. On this edition of Fed Gov Today with Francis Rose, the Transportation Department's IT consolidation goes into overdrive, going back to the basics to save agency money and a quantum shift in the security clearance process. Welcome to Fed Gov Today with Francis Rose. OneDOT IT is the goal for the Transportation Department's Chief Information Officer. He lists processes, people, and products as part of the path to get to that goal. Pavan Pidugu is the CIO at DOT. Pavan, welcome. It's great to see you again. Thanks for joining me today. What's your vision for OneDOT IT? What are the concepts behind it?
First, Francis, thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to see you again. OneDOT IT, it's a grand vision of trying to streamline the processes, upskill our people, and minimize the technology landscape that we have to manage. Right? It's more about serving the citizens with a better technology for the day and age we live in than looking at as the primary goal is to save money. Saving money is a byproduct of what we do. So it starts with our people. Our people are located in the subcomponents of the department in smaller chunks, doing repetitive things and redundant things across the department. So OneDOT IT is consolidating all of the people that are in subcomponents into one large IT organization working for the CIO. The second part is we have redundant systems that does the same thing that are built over time for the right reasons back in the day. But now is the day and age to look at what capabilities do we need to offer to people, what capabilities do we have today that are being offered in different manners, and unify them into a common process, common practice, so any citizen or any entity that's needing to interact with DOT gets the same unified digital experience. And then the third in that process is simplification of our IT infrastructure, architecture, and assets that we manage. In that process, we save a lot of money. For our people, they're part of larger organizations, so they get a lot of avenues to grow themselves professionally and meet their professional and personal goals. When you're in a small organization that has 5 IT people, you have to almost wait for somebody to retire over a decade later to grow into that position. Mm-hmm. But when you are a part of a larger organization that's serving the entire Department of Transportation, I could get excited working on a highway project today and go on to something else tomorrow on different technologies, on different roles. It brings a much more larger enterprise experience for people so we can grow from within. I would rather have people, move around within the organization than lose them to some other organization outside because they don't see us as a long-term workplace.
On redundant systems, you said recently you have 14 grant systems at DOT as one example you gave, and you don't have 14 bureaus. So you have more examples of that technology than you have of organizations to use it. How are you going around and inventorying what you have so you know what your baseline is to know what you can consolidate?
Great question. Again, it's every day is a new learning for the past couple of months as we're trying to understand what our landscape is. Obviously we know what we have, but we don't know how they're architected, what they have been done, because some of these go 10, 15 years ago they were built, and we don't have good documentation. The vendors that built, we didn't take good care of handoffs when they left the organizations, etc. So we're doing a lot of reverse engineering to identify what is the construct behind these systems. Grants is a great example. Inspections is another example. Again, when you think of us wanting to do an inspection, I shared last time when we spoke, in motor carriers, for a simple truck inspection, the inspector had to log into 8 different applications. Similarly, we have pipeline inspection done railways inspection that's done in FRA. A lot of other agencies do similar capabilities, but the systems are different also, right? So one way to look at it is when you build a product, it allows people to have different capabilities. So think about it as, I'm watching a movie on Netflix. I'm always on the road, and I may want to watch a movie when I'm not connected and flying in the air. And my son is not getting on plane that often, and he may wants to watch some movies over the weekend or kids shows over the weekend. So there is like a different expectation in terms of how we're going to use the same product, right? So similarly, for our inspection applications, when we apply that product mindset into those, we're looking at, okay, what capabilities, what functionality is required within the same construct of a single tangible asset, and grow it over time. So our IT infrastructure that we have to maintain and manage over a long run becomes smaller and smaller with more capabilities than what we have today.
Is that concept the reason why you substitute the word products instead of saying people process technology, that you think about people process products? Is that the reason why?
That is absolutely one way to look at it, right? Technology is the construct of how it is made. You can use any technology to deliver the same tangible asset. So we call it product. Again, I come from retail background, so you're always used to the terminology in that. But also, product is the evolution of application and software development. It's the common industry practice. If you look at any technology, large technology organizations, they're building products, which is a tangible thing people touch and use to do an activity on it. In grocery products, you use them for some part in your life, whether cooking or having a beverage or whatnot. But in digital product, these days we do all of our jobs through those technology products.
Mm-hmm. You used a couple of terms there, referred to a couple of your experiences. You were at a bureau of the Transportation Department before you became the agency CIO. You were at Walmart before you came into the federal government. How have both of those experiences informed the way that you've approached the job of CIO of the full department?
So the experience at Walmart and retail in general helped me to build large-scale transformations in a fast pace, in a shorter time-driven environments. The entry into motor carriers helped me to understand the government ways of working or limitations of certain things in the government to shape me as a leader to still not let go of my fast-paced technology transformations in a government construct. So I'm positioned really well to come in to the Department of Transportation CIO role because I know a little bit more than other CIOs that are joining in the administration about their entire department. Mm-hmm. So that helped me to hit the ground running mm-hmm. from day one. I actually walked in with a vision onto the job on day one. It took about a couple of weeks to understand the new leaders in the administration that I'm going to be working with, understand what their priorities are, how IT can support their vision, right? These days, anything you have to bring efficiencies, technology plays a major role. So I wanted to, leverage how I can be of support to meet the Secretary's vision and goals. End of the day, I work at the pleasure of the Secretary, and my job is to ensure that he and his leadership team is supported and given the right tools at the right time so they're not slowed down or bogged down because of the bureaucratic processes in building tech in the government space.
Pavan, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks very much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Francis. It's my pleasure.
You can read more about consolidation at DOT on today's show page at fedgovtoday.com.